Hey everybody, it's Rob here. We're doing the HELLTIDE right now, and there is, let's say, some pretty crazy technology to get a lot of loot. And we are checking this out right now, and boy do we have some loot here at the moment. You guys can see here my UI is actually almost crashing. We're just doing HELLTIDE with an 8-player party with different shots. You see here my UI is disappearing for a couple seconds because there's just too much loot in this entire HELLTIDE that we farmed already. And this basically got like very public, and a lot of people have asked me how we do it, and that's why I wanted to do this quick video here, just to show you. So first of all, you have to get all the people in the same shot, and this is like usually done with like a lot of communication on the stream side. That's how I do it, at least. You can do it with your friends. You can organize in Discord and stuff. So you can just like have multiple people in the same shot by leaving and rejoining. And there's also a thing that basically makes you a progression meter at 100%. And there is a recent video here, and I'm going to show this to you, by Gazi, and he said we broke HELLTIDE. So this was already the case on the PTR. You can basically log in and log out while the final progression meter is going. You can see he says it here. Like the progression meter is about to reach 100%. And then he basically logs out.
Survive this, though.
He logs out of the HELLTIDE.
It's still going down.
We're gonna go up here.
So I've now logged out. And then log back in.
So this video he posted
coming up, boys.
12 hours
now
ago. 26,000 boosts.
But I mean, I don't see.
And now his progress meter is basically full all the time. This has already been the case on the PTR. It has not been changed so far. So this was like discovered 2 months ago. In fact, I made a clip about this. Let's see. This was what the Twitch clip says. We already made 2 YouTube videos about this 2 months ago, and apparently it still worked. I didn't retest this. So this 2 months ago I posted this, and you can see there back in the days the twister was still super crazy. And that stuff was still going on, so you just have the progress meter full all the time, and it just like keeps blasting monsters. And obviously, it also kept blasting twisters. And you guys can see here the amount of legendaries and the amount of Angelbreath in particular you can farm is pretty insane. And it just keeps spawning more monsters. And like we can move here, communicate a bit more better with the group. I'm gonna leave a link to Gazi's video down below. So now we're just basically going to talk about it. We're going to move up, and you guys can see as soon as we start killing new monsters, like all of us together, here there's this event again. We're going to do this real quick. So as soon as we start killing new monsters, there's going to be new ambushes spawning. And you guys can see like it keeps spawning more elites. And there's basically 8 players in this group, and we just keep ramping up like this. And this is, I mean, I made this season start video. It's the exclamation mark leveling. I'm going to put that in the description as well. This is basically what we did to start the season with as well, like stack the shards full of people, and then you can share the progression meter with multiple people, like playing together and slaying demons. It was the most fun experience that I personally had leveling in Diablo forever. And you can just do this with your friends. There's multiple LFG channels. You don't have to use this progression thing, like that's up to you. It basically boosts your material income by quite a lot. But you do whatever you want, and it's already efficient just doing this with 8 players and just sharing the progression meter along people. And if you're daring, you can do 12 players, but it needs to be very well communicated. And that way you can get many people in the instance and just get a lot of loot. And apparently this will change in about 3 days. So if you still want to stack up on some materials, I recommend doing some HELLTIDEs now, because the way this progression meter works looks like to be changing in the future. They didn't bother to hotfix this or change it on the PTR, but it looks like they are hinting in the patch notes to change this. We're not 100% sure exactly what is changing. I'll show you the patch notes here right after we finish this event. But there's basically an entry there that they are looking into addressing some issues here, but it has not been addressed yet. And same for the Holy Bolt Elixir. Like we can still use this elixir to double dip our damage, and we just deal insane amounts of damage at the moment. And there's not really any info yet if this is also gonna get fixed. You might have seen the 139 clears with the Necromancer, like hitting for hundreds of billions of damage. That's also not in the patch notes yet. But there is this little line here in the notes at the moment. And this patch, keep in mind, is coming out on May 28th, on Tuesday. And there is this line here, fixed an issue where the thread progress could be permanently locked if the player exited HELLTIDE while thread was near 0. And I think this is like basically what Gezi here was talking about. There was multiple ways of doing it on the PTR. And yeah, it looks like it's still the case, and it's going to be addressed in the next patches here. So if you want to farm materials right now, I think it's more efficient to do it now. So I'm definitely going to stack up on a couple of Death Breath here. Angelbreath, as we find a 200 sword. We're gonna go right side and just farm a couple materials. This is also in fact the best way to farm GAs, so I'm basically dropping all my items here. I'm pretty much only picking up whatever GA is happening, because I keep getting this question in the chat as well, what's the best way to farm GAs? It doesn't really change if you go high pits or not. Like, it's all about getting many items per hour. And this HELLTIDE here in an 8-player or even a 12-player group is definitely the fastest way to obtain these items. And you guys can see here, this is already all the in Greater Affix items I found. It's like half an inventory, I haven't even checked them. Like, this is basically the new loot filter that the game has. You're not really looking into, you know, picking up all the items anymore. My loot filter is basically this star. If I see the star, I'll take it. And if an item doesn't have the star, I don't even bother picking it anymore. So we only pick these items, and this all here is like whatever. We don't need it. And after the HELLTIDE, I might have a full inventory of only Greater Affix items. And that's the ones that I will be using here. And yeah, you can just like keep running this. Like, I try to communicate with people, like always pin out like which way we go. But people are already pretty used to it. And you know, it goes like this crazy that at some point you're not even going to be able to spend all these cinders. I think in one of the other HELLTIDEs, we actually managed to hit 8,000 cinders. And you see here is the other party. You can always tell that there's these yellow dots that are not grouped up with you, but they're still in the same instance. So the way this works is you can just invite them and then remove them from the party, and they stay in the instance at least until the shard is full. And this usually is about 12 people. So I definitely wouldn't recommend it trying to do this with 4 groups, because it's just going to keep crashing your shard. And it's going to require a lot of communication anyways. And I think there's one more event here. Come here, guys. So here, when you see these events, these are the most efficient events. The Soul Spires and the Hell Spires. This is definitely what you want to do. And I'm just like thinking up here. And people will see it on the stream, and they will just come here, and we will get all the loot over here. And that's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to have a link to Gezi's video in the description. Because he's the one that published this video again, and I didn't know that this still existed. I was assuming that this was changed, but it's not. And there's a lot of people that saw this video and came and had questions, and I was doing this video here too. Basically keep you informed, and again, a couple of days you can still do this. So if you want to do a lot of materials and pre-farm maybe a couple of materials to just, you know, have a bit of an easier time rerolling your items, this is definitely a hot tip at the moment. Because it's most likely going to get changed. I will probably make an update video, see what exactly this patch note entry means for the way that this works. But at the moment, this is one of the best ways. It's not crazy more efficient than just doing pit runs if you're doing them really fast, but it still is very much on the top there. And on top of this, you're also getting all the materials that you need to craft your gear. So this helps a lot. And there's so many cinders here, we're not even able to spend them. I think I opened like every chest in this HELLTIDE. But yeah, again, you can't really like, you know, see, okay, there's actually one chest here left. You can't open all the chests with this amount of loot income that you get from sharing 4 people's, or even 8 or up to 12 people's progression meters here in these HELLTIDEs. And yeah, you see here the UI is like kind of lagging out because there's just so much loot on the ground everywhere. I think even the items disappear at some point. They just like fall off the ground or something because there's just too many of them. But yeah, the HELLTIDE is definitely a blast. Like doing this HELLTIDE and grouping up with just a lot of people and blasting this, it requires quite some communication. Okay, now we're gonna go top right. For people to follow you and also to, you know, set this up correctly. I think it took us about like 5 minutes just to even get this going. And on the launch, it was a lot of easier. We had a very dedicated group with Lucky Luciano, Gymnasium, a lot of speedrunners, and we were all in Discord and blasting this, even with an hour late start. With this sharding technique, where you get many people in one instance, we actually got to level 100 in just 7 hours. And that is actually a pretty crazy time already. And if you would do it now, you can get multiple Resplendent Sparks for your seasonal questline. I made a video about that. I'm also going to put that in the description. And you can just make a new character right now, or multiple new characters, and you do this for, I think, 4 or 5 hours, and you get a guaranteed spark from the seasonal questline. So this is basically a guaranteed way for every character that you make. Every 4 hours, you can basically farm a guaranteed spark to craft your Uber Unique with as well. Because the progression here is insane, and you're also getting Stygian stones. These things here that a lot of people want from the Iron Wolf questline, as well as a bunch of legendaries, a bunch of eggs, a bunch of boss summoning materials in general, and just very good loot overall. So it's a pretty cool strategy, and I enjoy it a lot. Like, this just feels like crazy, you know. Like Rod Ferguson said, man, just let them have fun with it. And I'm happy that they leave this in the game, at least for a couple more days, because it looks like a very cool mechanic for the HELLTIDE, just to have constant ambushes and just enjoying the HELLTIDE. And yeah, try it out, guys. Play with some friends, and good luck farming the materials. And I will see you soon. I keep you posted, like, what exactly this patch is gonna change or not change. See you soon. GG. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like or a comment. I'm also live on Twitch almost every day, so come and say hi.